Hey everybody, here's a fun one for you. So a few minutes ago we did a video as I did an inspection of the Poppleton hive. And after we did that, I went on to do some work here in the yard, particularly on hive number 1. And I turned around and there's a ball of bees in the air. And it's like the first thought I thought of was, oh, that must be those bees that were on the ground over here when we dropped that frame. So I gave them a puff of smoke, and then when I realized that they were starting to accumulate right here, I scooped some of them up in my handy-dandy dustpan, held them over here, and there was immediately a battle royal, at which point I suddenly realized, oh, I had put that clump of propolis right here for the sweat bees, and a small swarm decided to use that as their point of contact to make a little swarm off the corner here. So I just stuck a bucket up there and they happily went running over to it.
So it's October 12th.
Yeah.
And we have a swarm.
And this is not from any of my hives.
In a bucket.
My hives are all just fine, but from somewhere this little baby swarm, basically softball size, moved in. Sorry, I didn't think to go in and get a camera going. I just responded by setting a bucket up there, and sure enough, they immediately stuck their butts up in the air and everybody started running inside.
Yeah, and they're still doing it.
Yeah.
And this is on top of the dragon fruit cactus. Trellis, yeah. Whatever. Yeah, down here. So you got the Poppleton hive over here. And this is a hive that needs to be rehomed.
Yeah.
And there's hive number 1 and number 2. Number 3 still with their straps on from the hurricane.
Well, I was just working on 1, so their straps are off, but 2 and 3 are still strapped.
Yeah.
Just silliness. October swarm, and so tiny, it has absolutely no chance. Left to its own devices.
Well, the word's out that you'll feed bees. So, clearly. Sorry about the noise. Our next door neighbor is mowing their lawn while they have the chance. It's been raining a bit.
Yeah, and it looks like it'll start raining here again in another hour or 2.
Well, let's give them a few minutes to finish coming in and settling in, and then we'll come back and take a peek.
Okay. Yeah. I just prepped a nuke for that little tiny swarm. I made them some sugar water. I put a couple of frames of comb in there, set the whole thing up, turned around. It's drizzling rain outside. So, okay, there were 2 bees on the front entrance. Terrific. Everybody was inside. Picked the bucket up, put it on the ground, lifted the lid carefully, figuring most of the bees would be festooned under the lid, and there wasn't a single bee there. I looked in the bucket. There were like 2 bees wandering around in the bucket. That was just the bivouac position, which of course is what we would have known it was. That was a bivouac position. And they decided to go somewhere else. That has got to be the worst decision ever made in the entire history of the bee kingdom, because they left my backyard for somebody else. They would have been treated like royalty, and instead they left. No accounting for taste. This is Rich, South Florida Beekeeping with Rich. Be sure to like and subscribe. Not like those bees just now.